Hello, welcome to another video, the last video from Latvia in this series. If you watched the last couple, you'll know I'm in the seaside town on the Baltic coast of Latvia in a place called Ventspils. I am taking the Stena Scandica roll-on roll-off ferry from here in Ventspils to a place called Nynashamn, I think is how you pronounce it, in Stockholm County in Sweden. It's an overnight ferry, it should take about 8 hours ish. I'm just having a wander around the ferry terminal because I'm about 4 hours too early, because Ventspils has absolutely nothing to do, particularly on a Sunday night. I'm also trying to spot the ferry. It arrived here at 6 AM this morning, but I can't find the ferry, and it's pouring down with rain. There's a nice Russian Orthodox cathedral here, right next to the ferry terminal. Yeah, I'm trying to find the ferry. It's pouring down. As I was saying before it started pouring down, I'm taking a ferry over to Sweden. I don't have a cabin, so I'm going to be spending the night in a reclining seat. It cost me just over €40, and then we get into Nynäshamn at about 7:30 tomorrow morning, where I'm flying home from Stockholm at 4:30ish PM. So we'll have some time in Stockholm as well, which will be in another video. But yeah, I'm going to go and get into the Stena terminal before it starts pouring down even more, and we will get on board at some point in the next 4 hours. I need to find out how to get on board. I think it's going to be a transfer bus because there's nowhere that passengers can walk. But I'm now absolutely soaked. I have no spare clothes, so it's not got off to a good start. So just checked in at the Stena terminal, and I've been told that boarding for foot passengers is not until 10 PM, which is about 3 hours from now. There's absolutely nothing to do in Ventspils. What am I going to do for 3 hours? If you've got a car, you can board from 8, which makes no sense. But I've got my boarding pass. I'm on the 5th deck, seat 40 something, in a reclining seat. But now I need to wait for about 3 hours until we can actually get on board, and apparently there may be a delay because of the storms over the Baltic Sea. So this seems to be a very car, truck, coach heavy route, not many foot passengers, as I'm now starting to realise. So I need to figure out what to do in dead-end Ventspils until 10 PM, when the woman said come back at around just before 10, and then the couple of foot passengers will board together. So couple suggests there aren't that many. Well, I've got a couple of hours to just wander around in the pouring rain. I'd be more upbeat if I wasn't soaking wet because it's so heavy rain and I'm dripping with rain and I'm tired. But I'll see you when we're getting on board. Hello.
Hello.
Where would I find this?
Just go straight and on the left.
Thank you. So I'm in one of the recliner lounges. Let's have a look around the seat before it gets too busy. So the seat reclines. There's a little lever here. And it goes back quite far. And then this little table. that's about it. We'll go and look around the ship in a bit and find some open deck space just before we leave port, and then I need to try and get a bit of sleep because we get into Sweden quite early tomorrow morning, and I better go back to my own seat before somebody comes and shouts at me.
We are calling the stern down, starting the engines, and we'll be leaving the berth shortly. Our arrival time in Narvik will be 7:30 tomorrow morning local time. The weather for the crossing today, we're expecting moderate to strong force wind from northwesterly direction, but we'll do everything to make your crossing as comfortable as possible. Please note that during the passage, access to the vehicle decks is prohibited until our arrival in Narvik. Also prohibited is the tampering of any safety equipment aboard the vessel. This includes speakers in the cabins. Could I ask you now to pay particular attention to the following safety announcements? Thank you for choosing to travel with Stena.
So deck space on the Stena Scandica is limited to say the least. So deck 7 is supposed to be the open deck, but all the stairs are blocked off. So we're on deck 5, and it is literally from where those guys are stood that you can just about see. So it's from that line on the floor to here, and most of the people here are truckers who are smoking. We can't really see outside. There's not really much to do. We're leaving 15 minutes early ahead of schedule, and we have just left Ventspils port. Well, before I go and settle in for the night, and we'll try and get the sunset in the sunrise in the morning, let me tell you about this ship. So the Stena Scandica was built in 2005 and first operated as the Lagan Viking for Viking lines. Then it was sold to Norfolk Line, which in 2010 was bought by DFDS, and it was renamed Lagan Seaways. Then it became part of Stena Line, and it used to run on the Belfast to Birkenhead route. And then in 2011 the ship was renamed Stena Lagan, and then in 2020 the ship was sent to Istanbul to be extended by 36 metres, and it was renamed the Stena Scandica and put on the Ventspils to Nynashamn route, which it has operated since for 5 years. And that's pretty much it. There's not really anything inside. There's a bar, but it is shut. There's a restaurant, but it's shut, and there's enough room for about 970 passengers, I think the woman at reception said, but it's only a third full tonight. So yeah, not what I was expecting. So hopefully it should be quite a quiet sailing. It's really noisy. We're right above the engines. I don't think I'm going to get any sleep, but I'm going to have to give it a try. I've moved seats. There's loads of empty seats. I'm just going to try and get some
Ladies
sleep.
and gentlemen, we would like to inform you that our restaurant will be closed in 30 minutes. Thank you for your attention. Dāmas un kungi, vēlamies jūs informēt, ka mūsu restorāns tiks slēgts pēc 30 minūtēm. Paldies par uzmanību.
Right, well, it's dark outside. There's nothing else to see, and I'll try and get the sunrise in the morning as we get closer to Sweden. So until then, see you in the morning. So before I try, and try is the word, try to get some sleep, I found some outside space, I think. So you've got to go outside of deck 5, and then you can go up to deck 7. But it is really windy. We're now deep into the Baltic Sea. It's really windy, really slippery. Just pitch black as far as you can see. I always find it quite terrifying being so close to a really rough sea, particularly in wind like this. I remember being on the Havila cruise, the Havila mail ship along the coast of Norway, and it was really, really windy, and it was quite a small ship. I think it had about 400 passengers, and it was rocking everywhere, and the waves were coming over the ship. It was so windy. It's not quite that bad here in the Baltic, but it is Baltic. It's freezing and really, really windy. But I think I've found the reason why this ferry route exists. It's quite a niche route at Nynäshamn to Ventspils. But you'll see where the money is. I think passengers are just an inconvenience on this route, really. All of the money is made in trucks and cars. This shows you just how many there are on board. So this is just one deck of cars and vans. There are another 3 decks full of them. So there's nothing to see other than just pitch black. So I think I'm going to try and go and get a couple of hours sleep if I can. They haven't turned the lights off, so there's constant light in this reclining seat area. I'm going to try and see if I can get a bit of sleep and hopefully be able to catch catch the sunrise in the morning just as we're pulling into Swedish waters, and it started to pour down again, so I need to get in quick. Oh, it's freezing. Oh. It's like a hospital ship. There are just police and army everywhere, and people just sprawled out all over the floor. But there are quite a lot of soldiers on board today, with NATO patches on, so I guess they might be going to training in Sweden or coming back from Latvia. Like a warlock. And the guy next to me keeps coughing all night. So I didn't get a wink of sleep last night. The lights were kept on all night. The seats weren't particularly comfortable, and some guy kept snoring really loudly, and the other side of me somebody was coughing all night. But it's now 5:30 somewhere in the Baltic. The sun is just rising on the horizon, so I am going to test out my new 360 camera to see if I can catch a time lapse of the sunrise as we pull into Swedish waters. Once we get there, there's apparently a free transfer bus to the next train station to help to get to Stockholm. It is a good idea by Stena Line, because this Rovik port is about an hour's walk from the nearest train station, and there's no public transport between them. So yeah, let's hope this thing turns up. I'm going to head down now, get my stuff sorted, and then we will get off the ship as soon as we pull into the dock. So there we go, free transfer, 5 minutes from the Stena Line ferry terminal here to Nynäshamn train station. I now need to try and get to Stockholm, but what did you think of the Stena Line Scandica from Ventspils to here in Sweden? Have you taken it? Would you take it? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Let me know of any other ferry routes that it would be worth me taking. Preferably with a cabin this time, because I didn't get any sleep. Well yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video when we do something in Stockholm before I fly back home tonight. So until then, bye.